Today on MTG Unpacked, we've got a fun opening for you. So this is the Izzet versus Golgari Duel decks. So been looking forward to opening another one of these. It's been almost a year since we opened a duel deck, so let's see what we get here. So this is set on the streets of Ravnica. Alright, so we've got the Dragon, Niv-Mizzet, Lich Lord, Jared, and what else? 2 ready to play 60 card decks, 2 deck boxes, 2 Critch token strategy insert, and learn to play guide. So you can freeze frame that, check it out, and we do get some nice shiny goodness here. If I can get that in focus. Alright, so let's crack it open. And this one set me back about 65 US. I think back in the day they would typically go for more like 25 or 30, so not the craziest expensive one, but not as cheap as they once were. And I think my favorite, anything with goblins, I think they've had a couple of those over the years. So let's check it out. So here are the deck boxes. Looks like a Niv-Mizzet representing Izzet, and for Golgari we have this Lich Lord. Okay, and the boxes typically, yeah, they would not hold sleeved cards. Okay, so we have 2 cards here, and these are really designed to be played against each other, so not really meant for other formats, although I suppose you could put together a commander deck from these. So let's check out some of these flyers here. What do we have here? Looks like a Niv-Mizzet. There he is. Okay, so how to play the Izzet deck. So lots of info there. And here is the deck list. And you can see a lot of stuff from Guildpact, Return to Ravnica, Mirage, Innistrad, Apocalypse, Rise of the Eldrazi, whole stack of stuff. And then on the other side, we have another deck here. And I'm assuming this is the Golgari side. So how to play the Golgari deck. A lot of graveyard stuff, as you might expect. There's the Lich Lord. Okay, and tokens, so we'll keep an eye out for those. Alright. And then we do have another flyer here. So let's see what we got. Okay, I think this is the one. They used to include something like this in all of the dual decks. So we've got some planeswalkers here. Here's a battlefield all lined up and how to play. So if you're new to Magic, these are actually a great way to go. Very self-contained, and they play well against each other. We've got a bit of glossary of keywords here. Okay, bunch of stuff. Alright, so let's move on here. And I don't think there's a ton of value here as far as cards. So you could probably build these for cheaper than the sealed boxes, so that might be worth doing. And when did this come out? This is, see, 2012 by the look of it. Okay, so we will take a look at our legendary Pringles here. Still having some humidity issues apparently in the house. Okay, so we have Niv-Mizzet, the Firemind. Legendary creature, Dragon Wizard. It's a mythic. 4/4 for 6 with flying. Whenever you draw a card, Niv-Mizzet, the Firemind deals 1 damage to target creature or player. And if you tap, you get to draw a card. Alright. And then the Lich Lord here, we have Jared, Golgari, Lich Lord, legendary creature, zombie elf. It's another mythic. 2/2 for 4. So it gets +1/+1 for each Critch card in your graveyard. And for 1 black and green, so that's Golgari. Sacrifice another creature. Each opponent loses life equal to the sacrificed creature's power. Sacrifice a swamp and a forest. You get to return Jared from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. So like I said, some graveyard synergies there. Alright, let's see. Let's go with this one first. This is probably Izzet, or isn't it? We shall see. Alright, so where is the mana base? Let's rearrange. Okay, so actually, yeah, a lot of the cards are pringling out of this. That's interesting. Don't see that too often from non-foils. Okay, so we have a Saproling, just single-sided. Okay, so here is the deck. Starting off with a Kiln Fiend, creature elemental beast, 1/2 for 2. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Kiln Fiend gets +3/+0 until end of turn. It traps an explosion within its stony skin. Okay, so a couple of Kiln Fiends. Goblin Electromancer. Okay, I've changed my mind. This deck is much better than the other one because we have goblins. Creature, Goblin Wizard, 2/2 for 2. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. When asked how much power is required, Izzet mages always answer more. Sounds about right. Okay, Izzet Guild Mage, creature, human wizard, 2/2 for 2. For 2 and a blue, copy target instant spell you control with convert mana cost 2 or less. You may choose new targets for the copy. And for 2 and a red, copy target sorcery spell you control with convert mana cost 2 or less. You may choose new targets for the copy. Okay, so just one of those. Gelatrode, creature, weird. Okay, 0/1 for 3. Tap it, deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may untap Gelatrode. Okay, so a lot of things I think you're going to find interactions with the instants and sorceries here, as you might expect. We Dragonauts, creature, fairy, wizard, 1/3 for 3. With flying, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, We Dragonauts gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So we do get a couple of those. Steam Core Weird. Creature Weird 1/3 for 4. So when it enters the battlefield, if red was spent to cast Steam Core Weird, it deals 2 damage to target creature or player. Shrewd Hatchling, creature elemental 6/6 for 4. So it enters battlefield with 4 -1/-1 counters on it. Okay, so starting off at like a 2/2. And for a blue or red, target creature can't block Shrewd Hatchling this turn. Whenever you cast a blue spell, remove a -1/-1 counter from Shrewd Hatchling. And whenever you cast a red spell, you remove 1. Okay, that's cool. So casting spells makes it bigger. That's an interesting mechanic. Ogre Savant, creature, Ogre Wizard, 3/2 for 5. So when it enters battlefield, if blue was spent to cast Ogre Savant, return target creature to its owner's hand. Galvanoth, creature, beast, 3/3 for 5. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may look at the top card of your library. If it's an instant or sorcery card, you may pay, or you may cast it without paying its mana cost. Nice. Izzet Krunark, creature, human wizard, 2/2 for 5. When Izzet Krunark enters battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, bouncing them back. Jin Illuminatus, creature, Jin, 3/5 for 7 with flying. Each instant and sorcery spell you cast has replicate. The replicate cost is equal to its mana cost. So what is this? When you cast it, copy it for each time you paid its replicate cost. You may choose new targets for the copies. Okay, fair enough. And Brainstorm. This is a classic instant for a single blue. Draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. Force Spike, instant for a single blue. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. Okay, here's a bit of the control seeping in. Magma Spray, instant for a single red. Deals 2 damage to target creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Isochron Scepter, nice. Artifact for 2. Has imprint, so when it enters battlefield, you may exile an instant card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your hand. And if you pay 2, tap, you may copy the exiled card. If you do, you may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. Craziness! And an Izzet Signet, artifact for 2, 1 tap. You get to add blue and red to your mana pool. Cool to heal, instant for 2. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Its controller draws a card. Train of Thought, sorcery for 2, replicate for 1 and a blue. Okay, so another one of those where you copy. Draw a card. Pyromatics, instant for 2, Replicate 1 and a red. It deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Okay, so tons of replicate here, so we do get a couple of those. Izzet Charm, instant for 2. Choose 1, counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 2. Or Izzet Charm deals 2 damage to target creature, or draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. So a nice menu of options there. Reminisce, and that is some awesome artwork. Have not seen this card before. Sorcery for 3. Target player shuffles his or her graveyard into his or her library. So if they get rid of your stuff, it's not a big deal. Thunderheads, another one I haven't seen. Instant for 3. Replicate 2 and a blue. Put a 3/3 blue weird creature token with Defender and flying onto the battlefield. Exile at the beginning of the next end step. So I wonder where we'll find a weird token if they include those. Vacuum Out. Sorcery for 3. That's fun. Replicate 2 and a blue. Return target creature to its owner's hand. So some bouncing abilities here. Dissipate. Instant for 3. Counter target spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. Quicksilver Dagger. Enchantment Aura for 3. Enchant creature. The enchanted creature has tapped. This creature deals 1 damage to target player. You draw a card. Prophetic Bolt. Instant for 5. Deals 4 damage to target creature or player. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand. And rest on the bottom of your library in any order. And what is that? Giant Brain or something? Overwhelming Intellect. Instant for 6. Counter target creature spell. Draw cards equal to that spell's converted mana cost. My brain hurts. It reminds me of the Magic Historian. Yes, you know what I'm talking about, people, don't you? Sphinx Bone Wand. Artifact for 7. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may put a charge counter on Sphinx Bone Wand. If you do, Sphinx Bone Wand deals damage equal to the number of charge counters on it to target creature or player. And you will be casting tons of instants and sorceries, apparently. Street Spasm, instant for X and a red. Deals X damage to target creature without flying you don't control. Has Overload for X, X, and 2 red. You may cast a spell for its Overload cost. If you do, change its text by replacing all instances of target with each. Ooh, nice. Invoke the Firemind. Sorcery for X. 2 blue and a red. Choose 1. Draw X cards. Or Invoke the Firemind. Deals X damage to target creature or player. Then we've got a split card. Fire and Ice. So Fire is an instant for 2. Deals 2 damage to fighters. You choose among 1 or 2 target creatures and or players. Ice. Instant for 2. Tap target permanent. Draw a card. And, okay, so now we're moving on to lands here. We've got the Forgotten Cave enters tapped. Tap for red, cycle for a single red. Izzet Boilerworks, another tap land. And when it enters battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Tap for blue and red. And we do get 2 of those. And then what else we got here? Bunch of other lands. We've got a Lonely Sandbar, another tap land for blue, cycle for blue. Nivix, Area of the Firemind. Interesting. Tap to add 1 to your mana pool for 2 blue and red. Tap, exile the top card of your library until your next turn. You may cast that card if it's an instant or sorcery. Of course, that works nicely here. And then, let's see, 1, 2, 3. 10 of those. 9 mountains, I think that's right. Okay. So that looks like a pretty cool deck, and like I said, it has a goblin in it, so could have done with a few more goblins though. And if you've missed any of the dual decks in the series, we've done a bunch of them on the channel over the years. I'll chuck a link in the corner to the complete playlist. And if there are any others that we have not covered yet, there's not too many left actually, leave a note in the comments what you would like to see on the channel. I'll do my best to get those on here. And we'll dive into it. Okay, so now the Golgari deck. We have Plagued Rizolka. Creature Spirit, 1/1 for a single black. Pay a black, sack a creature. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Elves of Deep Shadow. Creature Elf Druid, 1/1 for a single green. Tap to add black to your mana pool. Elves of Deep Shadow deals 1 damage to you. So 2 of those. Golgari Thug, Creature Human Warrior, 1/1 for 2. So when it dies, put target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library, and it has Dredge. Dredge 4. If you draw a card, instead you may put exactly 4 cards from the top of your library into your graveyard. If you do, return this card from your graveyard to your hand, otherwise draw a card. Ravenous rats. Love the rats. Creature rat, 1/1 for 2. And when it enters battlefield, target opponent discards a card. Devouring books is only the beginning. The librarian's next. So this is tough. We've got rats in this one and goblins in the other. So I don't know which one I would pick, honestly. Reassembling skeleton. Creature skeleton warrior, 1/1 for 2 for 1 and a black. Return reassembling skeleton from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. And a boneyard worm. Creature worm. Star for 2. Its power and toughness reach to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Okay, I'm liking this one more and more. Corozda Guildmage with the freaky artwork here. Creature elf shaman 2/2 for 2 for 1 and black and green. Target creature gets +1/+1 and gains intimidate until end of turn. And for 2, well, let's just call it 2 Golgari. Sacrifice a non-token creature. Put X 1/1 green sapling creature tokens onto battlefield where X is the sacrifice creature's toughness. Okay, so we did see the sapling token earlier. Putrid Leech. Creature zombie leech. What on earth? 2/2 for 2. Pay 2 life. It gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Activate this ability only once each turn. It reacted to Naya's overabundant food supply by growing additional mouths. Love it. Stinkweed Imp. Creature Imp. 1/2 for 3 with flying. So whenever it deals combat damage to a creature, destroy that creature. Dredge 5. Eternal Witness. Nice include. Creature Human Shaman 2/1 for 3. When it enters battlefield, you may return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Dreg Mangler. Here's another one I haven't seen. Creature Plant Zombie. 3/3 for 3 with haste and scavenge. 3 black and green. So you pay that, exile this card from your graveyard, put a number of +1/+1 cards or counters equal to this card's power on target creature. Scavenge only as a sorcery. Shambling Shell. Creature Plant Zombie. Okay, so we do have a couple of those here. 3/1 for 3. Sack it, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Dredge 3. Brain Weevil. Creature Insect. 1/1 for 4. Intimidate. This creature can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or creatures that share a color with it. And if you sack it, target player discards 2 cards. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. Greater Moss Dog. Creature Plant Hound. 3/3 for 4 with Dredge 3. Man's Best Fungus. Loving the puns here. And we've been trolled. But not any old troll. It's the Golgari Grave Troll. Creature Skeleton Troll. Probably the first one of those I've ever come across. 0/0 for 5. Enters battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. For each creature card in your graveyard. And for 1, remove a +1/+1 counter from Golgari Grave Troll. Regenerate it. And it has Dredge 6. Stinger Fling Spider. Creature Spider. 2/5 for 5 with reach. And when it enters battlefield, you may destroy target creature with flying. Sadistic Hypnotist. Creature Human Minion. 2/2 for 5. Sack a creature. Target player discards 2 cards. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. Golgari Rotworm. Creature Zombie Worm. 5/4 for 5. Pay a black. Sack a creature. Target player loses 1 life. So we do get a couple of those. Not too many cards you get more than one of here. Glean Crawler. Creature Insect Horror. That is awesome. 6/6 for 6. Trample at the beginning of your end step, return to your hand all creature cards in your graveyard that were put there from battlefield this turn. Giant Mouth. Doomgate. Creature Elemental. 10/10 for 7. What? With Trample at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice creature. You gain life equal to that creature's toughness. It eats and eats until the juiciest morsel it can find is itself. Okay then. Golgari Signet Artifact for 2. For 1, tap, add the Golgari to your mana pool. Ghoul's Feast. Instant for 2. Target creature gets +X, +0 until end of turn, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Yoke of the Damned. That's awesome. Enchantment Aura for 2. Enchant creature. When a creature dies, destroy enchanted creature. Life from the Loam. Okay, this is another nice include. Sorcery for 2. Return up to 3 target land cards from your graveyard to your hand. Has Dredge 3. Golgari Germination. Enchantment for 3. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, put a 1/1 green sapling creature token onto the battlefield. The Golgari don't bury their dead. They plant them, of course. Makes perfect sense. Putrefy. Instant for 3. Destroy target artifact or creature. It can't be regenerated. And we do get a couple of those. Oh, that is disturbing. Feast or Famine. Instant for 4. Choose one. Put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. Or destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature and it can't be regenerated. Nightmare Void. Sorcery for 4. Target player reveals his or her hand. You choose a card from it. That player discards that card. Has Dredge 2. So actually, if you're building a Dredge deck in Commander or something, this might be a good starting point. Vigor Mortis. Sorcery for 4. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. If green was spent to cast Vigor Mortis, that creature enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Grim Flowering. Sorcery for 6. Draw a card for each creature card in your graveyard. Twilight's Call. Sorcery for 6. You may cast Twilight's Call anytime you could cast an instant if you pay 2 more to cast it. Each player returns all creature cards from his or her graveyard to the battlefield. And a split card, Life and Death. So life is a sorcery. For single green, all lands you control become 1/1 creatures until end of turn. They're still lands. Death. Sorcery for 2. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. You lose life equal to its converted mana cost. Okay, so that is the deck. Let's take a look at the lands here. So we've got a Baron Moor, tap land, tap it for black, cycle for black. Dakmor Salvage, enters tapped, tap for black, dredge 2, okay. Golgari Rot Farm enters tapped. When it enters the battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Tap it for a Golgari. So we do get a couple of those. How do you pronounce that? Zvogthos, the Restless Tomb. Tap for add 1 to your mana pool. For 3 in a Golgari until end of turn. Svogos, the Restless Tomb, becomes a black and green plant zombie creature with this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. It's still a land. Tranquil Thicket enters tap, tap it for green, cycle for green. And then we do get Swamps. Ten of those. And 8 forests. Okay. And here's a sapling. So we never did get that other token we were looking for. Interesting. I guess they want you to make your own tokens. So there we have it. That was Izzet versus Golgari. Which team are you on? Are you on the Niv-Mizzet side or the Lich Lord? Leave a note in the comments. And did you play this one back in the day? What do you think? And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button for more Magic the Gathering unboxings. And be sure to tap the notification bell to be notified as soon as new videos are released. Hope everyone's staying safe and healthy out there. Thanks for watching and have a great day.